Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. I'm here to do episode 4. I believe we're on 4. I'm pretty sure we're on 4. Yes, we're on 4, sorry. Of the Mojo-Busters series. Wow, I'm so sorry. It's a little bit early this morning and my brain isn't with it. We are doing Megan's challenge for this week. And the goal is it's a recipe challenge, which I love recipe challenge. I find them really fun. This one is going to be interesting. I've already kind of attempted it and had some struggles. So it's to use a sketch, washi tape, 3 pieces of pattern paper, and some mixed media. Now, this is so very a Megan type challenge. She does great with stuff like this, and she loves to use sketches. She uses them a lot, or like scrap lifts, and so I find this just such a Megan challenge. I love it. However, sometimes when it comes to sketches, find it's really hard to follow them. So for example, I love this sketch. I think it's really neat. I have no idea how to make it work. So I did a couple attempts with it already, just trying to play around. I knew I was going to struggle with it. And my first one was to just put some random paint and all of that, and it was a big hot mess. I'm not even going to show you. And then my other one is I laid some pattern papers to see, and I didn't like that either. So instead, my third, I'm going to show you what I'm starting with, and then I'll get you on fast forward. And I don't know how well this is actually going to read on camera because it is white on white. So let me bring it up closer to you. I did some mixed media with my modeling paste that I have and my stencil. And I just layered it, put the modeling paste on, and then used some clear embossing powder so that when I add my colors that I want to use, they will resist a little bit. So that's kind of my idea on how to get the stripe to go around. The colors I'm thinking about using are based off of my photos. So these are the photos I want to use. There's 4, but I'm actually covering up one of them. And I'm just going to line it up so it's even. And so in this, in my scarf that I'm wearing some pink. So I'm thinking about pulling this Tutti Frutti color, which is a really light pink. And then within this little picture I took, there's a lot of like teal-y blues. So I'm pulled the See You in the Morning. It's the lighter teal, which I think is good because this is so light as well. And then finally, for like the fact that this is kind of a Christmas layout, I was thinking about pulling the foiled again, but I don't like the 3 of them together. I don't think it's going to play off what I want. I don't want to use white because there's already so much white. So I'm going to pull the gold mine and use the gold and use that. So I'm not sure exactly which pattern I'm going to use, what colors are going to go where. But I've kind of taken inspiration from the layout that Hannah did last week, where she painted on some stripes. That's kind of my idea here. And then, yeah, it's still following the sketch. So that is where I'm coming from with my mixed media and using the sketch. And then I'll pull in the pattern paper and the washi as I go along. So I'm excited. Again, I love recipe challenges, except for the sketch part. I struggle with sketches that I don't pick because they're someone else's style, which is neat though because it really challenges you. But I do find that I struggle with them. So we're going to see how this turns out. But that's kind of my starting off point, and I'm hoping that we get something neat out of the process. So I'll get you on fast forward and we'll see what happens.
So the first thing that I start with is painting the strips that I want to use. I'm just trying to debate how I want to go with it. I did kind of test it and decided that the first strip I would like to do is the gold. I'm going to place that. This is a texture, so there is a bit of grittiness to it. I do add just a little bit of water. I have no idea if you even should add water to Dazzlers, but I did. And I just made it. This one was my favorite because it showed up so nicely. And I'm just doing, nothing fancy, right? I just took my little brush and painted a big stripe up and down the line just to cover up one row of the triangles. When I created the triangles, I did make sure that there were three and they're kind of lined up kind of semi sort of together so that when I did go to paint the colors, they would match the way I wanted them to. And then when I go to do the green, of course, I did pick lighter colors for a reason, but they're almost a little too light. So I did have to keep adding a little bit of the green textures. Oh, excuse me. And these are Dazzler. This one is a Dazzlers. But I still like it because once it dries, you do see it a little bit. And then with the pattern paper I use, it does kind of help play off that color. And of course, because it's shimmery, that helps as well. And I don't know, I really love it. I love how you can see the triangles come through as well. Really pretty. But when I go to use the pink, so this is meant to be a very light pink, and it does show up as such, but to the point where it was too light, unfortunately. I couldn't see it like at all. So I did have to go in with my little bit of watering colors that I have, and you're going to see me add that I add a little bit of a pink to it. I did keep trying, like I just kept trying to add a little bit more and more, thinking it would show up. You could tell a tiny bit that there is some pink there, but it just wasn't enough to my liking. So I really struggled with the pink one, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. Like you can see the difference a little bit there, but you can see I've walked away now. I'm just simply grabbing my watercolors to use just another lighter pink color. I found the color I thought was going to work perfectly right away. And then as soon as I added it, just a little bit, mixed it in with some water, it was exactly what I wanted. It was enough that I'm like, oh yes, this is perfect. So you're going to see me work on the pink a little bit longer than I should have because it did take me a little bit longer needing to add the extra colors. You can see there, that's the pink that I chose. And it did mix in with my Dazzlers that I already had on the brush, and I just don't care. Like, I spent $2 or something on those water paints, so if they don't last forever, it's fine. I'll just go buy more. That didn't bother me at all. So that is what it looks like. I did let it dry, of course, but I really, really love the way that that turns out. So my next step is I did grab some pattern papers that I had within my collection of Christmas paper here. I'm going to try out a few different places. I know I want a double border, so I'm trying out, I really like the wood grain. I know that one's going to stay there. But I'm trying out a couple teals to see if any of them work. And I really love this piece of pattern paper, but I was nervous to use it because I love it so much. I want to use the back side to it, but it's what I wanted. So thankfully, there's a big enough border around the trees and everything that I was able to just trim out the border that I was going to use. And because, like I said, I was using a double border, it could even be actually a smaller border than normally something I would cut. So that was really nice. And so that makes it so I have the border I'm wanting, but I also got to save that pattern paper as well. So now I'm just going to layer everything on top. Of course, trim this. This is beautiful pattern paper. It was from a Christmas stack from Michael's I got quite a few years ago, but it's so pretty. It's all based off of crate paper, like actual crate colored paper. And I just really like it. So that is my second layer. You don't see a ton of it. And I believe it's snowflakes on there. They kind of look like doily-ish snowflakes. But they're really, really pretty. So that's my second piece of pattern paper within the recipe challenge there. I'm going to line it up, put on my, of course, trim this. I purposefully, when I did my stenciling, did it over to one side because I knew I would be trimming my layout a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that that was how I did it. It's still a little off-center because I went way too far to one side, but it really doesn't bother me that much. I just figured if worse came to worse and it was too much, I could just do my journaling on that one side. That was kind of how I was able to justify what I was doing there. But I like it, and I place it down. Again, I love how I can see the colors coming through. It's so pretty. And I'm glad you can see that on camera. I was really afraid that they would be so light you wouldn't actually be able to see them, but you can. So I'm just marking off on my list here what I've done. And I'm sorry it's a little bit blurred out. I thought that my camera was in focus. But there you go. You can see I went ahead and got everything glued down so you didn't have to watch me do that. I'm now going to do my washi, and I totally cheat here. I grabbed just this one little piece of washi tape. It's got yellow and pink, which kind of represent the gold and pink. And I literally am just going to cut it and put them as corner pieces on my layout. I know it's not a great way to use washi, but if you've seen any of my videos, you will know I have a struggle with washi. I have a ton of these awesome washi packs that I bought, but I struggle. I don't know how to use them. So I really need to challenge myself a little bit more to use more and more washi within layouts and in different ways. Maybe I should watch someone who's a little bit better with that and get some ideas, because I'm just horrible with it. But that is how I got my washi on my layout. Most of it gets covered up because that's where I put my embellishment clusters, but that's fine. It did kind of tell me where to put my embellishment clusters and to do a neat diagonal, so that I liked because I kind of did all the hard work for me. I did grab this other strip that I really liked, but I just couldn't make it work. They're too the colors are too bold and don't really fit within the feeling of this layout. So I do kind of test it in a few different areas, but in the end it doesn't make it on this layout. However, I am able to add some string, some thread. It's silver thread, so I am mixing metallics, but that never bothers me. I really like silver. It really makes me think of like Christmas and the holiday season, so I added that. And then I'm just going to start decorating all of my little pieces here. I cut out that word celebrate from a cut apart sheet, actually, like Project Life cards. And I really loved that. So I was going to use celebrate either just as a subtitle or to complete into my title. And I really love the way that looks. And then at the bottom it says evening. I'm going to eventually, once I'm feeling better, add the word fun and finish off the rest of the layout as well. But I have gotten sick, if you can't tell from my voice. So unfortunately, this layout actually isn't fully completed, which you'll see when I come back live with you. But one thing I am able to do is add this rub-on. I love it. It's gold. And it's kind of the same yellowy gold as the washi tape that I use. So I thought it was the perfect mixture. So you are going to see me add that as well. I add it just underneath the word celebrate and then over by my other cluster as well. And then I just think it kind of helps. Again, it makes sure I move through these photos. And they're a little bit older photos. They were taken in 2013. And so I didn't have the best camera back then, and I used I don't even know if I used a filter or if it's just the flash. I don't know. But the photo of Sean and I were like yellowish. It's not really a great photo, but I still wanted to use it there because I was able to convince Sean to take to take a selfie with me. He's actually pretty good with stuff like that. So normally if I ask him for one, he'll do one with me. But that is the start of you'll see that every single photo I ever took of Sean in 2013 of us together, I'm pretty sure I chopped off his head. I just can't. He's so tall and I cannot make my arms go up high enough to make it so that I get his whole head in. I feel so bad, but he just needs to stop being so tall. And so you can see I'm just finishing up with my rub-ons down at the bottom as well. I really like the way that turns out. I'm going to come back live with you to show you what's going on and my plan. As like I said, I've gotten sick, so just hang tight for a minute.
Hey everyone, so let me apologize by saying I didn't really get to finish this layout as much as I wanted to. I was in the middle of working on it and I actually have come down with the flu. So no energy level, right? That's kind of what happens. And all the little finishing touches that I normally do along with like the journaling, it's just not done yet. I haven't even put the date yet. I'm just gonna go with it. I wanted to make sure this was at least up on time. And what I'm gonna do is share with you the actual finish. I'm just gonna add a few little things and some journaling, of course, once I'm feeling better. So next week I will start with the finished layout so you can see that, and then go into the last episode. But I want to show you, I did get all of the recipe done. So mixed media, obviously a big part of my layout. 3 pattern papers. I backed my pattern, my photos with one, and then there's 2 pattern papers back here. Washi tape is here and here, and then of course the sketch. So excuse me. I'm very sorry. And so I was able to do it. Of course, being sick, I found this a very hard challenge, but I had a lot of fun with it too. I'm actually really proud of the way it turned out, especially considering, like I said, this sketch was really difficult for me. So I just simply, basically, I didn't do it so that it was the same. I did it so it was on the different angle of it. So I don't know. I couldn't do it so that my photo was lined up and the colors were running the same way. So that's the only difference, really. But I like the way it turned out. So I appreciate you sticking through this one with me. And I will be back next week. Please don't forget to check out everyone else's layouts. And remember, if you put a comment on all 4 of our layouts this week, you will be entered to win the class from Victoria Marie. Thanks, everyone. Bye.